Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We are back. The boys are back. Minus one. Anthony Smith isn't here, of course. He's in training camp, but on top of that, he's got the electricians at the house and they're making a ridiculous amount of noise. I thought that was a really good excuse. Because I'll be honest, I love Anthony. Okay? Electricians don't make much noise. He could have still done the show. What? They make so much noise you can't do a podcast?
Yeah, when they gotta like tear into a wall to get stuff down, there's gonna be dust all over his place. It's gonna be a mess.
I don't know. Listen. I don't blame him. He's in training camp. He's fully allowed to say, guys, I'm going to skip this one. But what are they doing? They're not rebuilding the house. They're not ripping walls out. Do you know what I mean? They might be changing a light bulb or a fuse box or something. Or there might not even be electricians at the house. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? He's tired. He's training hard. He's got Johnny Walker on the mind. And he doesn't want to do the podcast. I don't know. I'm joking.
How many electricians does it take to ruin a podcast?
Well, I'll tell you what, how many electricians to change a light bulb? Well, we'll find out soon because I'm in Tenerife. I'm not at home. I'm off the coast of Africa in part of the Canary Islands. Beautiful place, by the way. So beautiful. I'm in the north, nowhere near where the tourists are. It's where all the real Tenerifians live. Beautiful people, very nice, great restaurants. Yeah, I'm very lucky. But it's getting dark. And I've got a nice hotel room. But the modern hotel rooms don't have lamps. Do you know what I mean? Or they have they don't have like a big light, is what I mean. Sorry. They don't have like a big master light, if you will. So I've got one lamp. I've had to take the lid off it. It's leaned over like this, just a light bulb staring me in the face. So anyway, it's going to be a great show, guys. It's going to be a great show.
So from the outside looking in, it looks like you're just in a corner, like with just one ball of light. Like that's the whole light source for the room.
No, there's a few of the little ones. There's a small one over the window. The windows don't need light because there's a lot of sun here. There's one in the bathroom. There's one in the hallway. It's a nice room, though, to be fair, but it doesn't look like it. I look like I'm coming at you all live from Anthony Smith's podcast. So I'm going to slide this closer to me. There we go. Anyway, right, enough of that crap because that's not what you all tune in for. A lot of stuff in MMA to go on about, but Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. That is where we need to start with all of this. Great night of fights. By the way, shout out to everyone in Kansas City. Have you ever been to Kansas City, Harrington?
Never once. It's on my bucket list, though.
I didn't know what to expect, but it far exceeded any expectations that I had because what a beautiful place. We stayed at, they call it Uptown, not downtown. I thought that was like the whole of the city. It's like nice old architecture, beautiful shops, nice restaurants, great people. And then when we went to the arena, as we were driving there, there's like all skyscrapers and stuff. I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute. I thought I was in Kansas City. They went, no, this is downtown, but you've been saying what they call Uptown. But I tell you, it's a beautiful place. I was like, we're moving to Kansas City. Everywhere I go, I want to move. Like Greenville, North Carolina, want to move there. Tenerife, I'm moving to Tenerife. This place is awesome. No, Kansas City was fantastic. Great place, great barbecue, by the way, great people. And
where'd you settle on?
What was it called? Jack Stacks, I think. It was literally across the street from the hotel. So,
yeah,
everyone said slaps. That's what Anthony said. And then here's why. I put it in the thing. I put it in the Google Maps. It was 6 miles away. Obviously downtown. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm in the city. It's not in the city. It's 6 miles away. But there you go. But still, great barbecue, awesome people. Awesome main event, great night of fights as well. Hold on, what we got here? We had some nice barbecue. We did.
Damn, that looks good.
Yeah, what is it about? Is that the only food that Americans do? Barbecue? Do you know, every city I go to, if it's southern, and I know Kansas isn't south, it's barbecue. Get barbecue. I had barbecue in San Antonio. It was gash, and that's slang, British slang for bad. I had it in Kansas City, though. Oh, my God. It was delish. Still. Yeah. What?
Kansas City's known for that. It is like it's across the Northeast has its chowders, down south has the barbecue, and out west has like vegan food.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I think about it.
No, west has pizza, doesn't it? New York pizza.
It's New York that's the East Coast.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hey, I'm still jet lagged. It took me 27 hours to get here. I flew from Kansas City to Charlotte to Madrid, 7-hour layover in Madrid. And I'm not talking crap about the people that booked the flights, but when I landed there and I was waiting 2 hours wait, there was a flight to Tenerife, but I was on the one that was 7 hours away. So, twas a little bit annoyed about that. Anyway, Max Holloway, Arnold Allen. Can I just start off by saying this? Seems to be a new trend going around that if anyone's English, I'm super biased towards them. I did not think I was biased one little bit. Harrington, let me ask you, and be honest. If you feel I was biased, say it. Was I biased towards Arnold Allen on Saturday night?
No, you were biased for sure. Towards Max Holloway, I'd say.
You prick. Listen, I'm a massive fan of Max Holloway. I've known him for quite some time. Arnold Allen started MMA, I believe, when I lived in the States. I don't necessarily have a relationship. I respect him. I like him. He's a good dude. He's very humble. I like him. He's one of those guys you can't not like him because he doesn't talk trash or anything. He's just a nice, hard-working dude and a tremendous fighter. But if anything, I've got more of a relationship with Max Holloway. But still, so put that in your pipe and smoke it, or your little bandwagon jumper on us. Because Justin Gage says I'm biased, now everyone says I'm biased. But Justin came out and said he shouldn't have said that. He said he was out of line for saying it. So there you go. I'll accept your apologies in my inbox. The fight, though, was brilliant. I thought Arnold Allen gave a really, really good account of himself. Going up against Max Holloway, that's not only a physically daunting thing, but mentally daunting. It's Max Holloway. You know what I mean? The man ruled the division for so long. And I even said to Arnold, I said, does it kind of suck? Because in any other universe, you beat Max Holloway, you're the champion of the world. Now you're only the number one contender. And he kind of agreed. With all that said, I thought he gave a really strong, good account of himself. He landed some big, heavy shots. The left hand was his money weapon. Round 1 was close. Round 2 was close. Round 3, Max won those rounds, but they were close. Max started to land with more frequency in round 3, round 4. Arnold came on strong in round 5. But it's just the movement and the speed of Max, the variety of the shots, and he just reads punches. He's just in the fight so well. He can see it. It's almost like he sees it in slow motion. You know what I mean? He's so talented. He's so good. He's a so difficult man to beat. And yeah, it wasn't Arnold's night. He said afterwards, I'll learn a lot from this. I saw him afterwards. We had a quick, brief chat, and he clearly felt that he was defeated. I was like, oh, man, you did fantastic. He goes, well, clearly not good enough. I'm like, well, that's very honest of you to say, but you should still be proud of that performance.
Arnold Allen, to me, I remember the talking point walking out of the Yair Rodriguez fight. Everybody in the back said Yair Rodriguez does not lose one iota in our mind because of this loss to Max Holloway, because it was such an incredible fight. I feel like Arnold Allen should be afforded that exact same treatment. That 5th round, he took it to Max Holloway better than anyone I've ever seen, who was down, who very easily could have been demoralized heading into that 5th round. Instead, he came out with guns blazing, and I think he should be commended. I had it 3-2 for Max Holloway, but it's as close as any Holloway fight in recent years.
Yeah, it was close for sure, and there is some comparisons, I guess, to the Yair Rodriguez fight. Yair went out there, started strong, and then Max did his thing. Listen, it's Max Holloway. There's nothing to feel bad about. The only person that I feel bad about is Max Holloway. Do you know what I mean? Because he should be fighting for a belt, but he's not. That's Yair Rodriguez. And even if he went out there, let's just say Yair wins, Max probably won't get the next shot. We've seen that 3 times. You understand what I'm saying? So Arnold's 29, I think. He's 29 years old. He's 10-1 in the UFC now. That is a phenomenal record. So, he'll be back. He'll be stronger. I thought it was great cornering from Faraz Zahabi. Arnold as well in the 5th round, calling for World War III, calling for fly or die, fight or flight, brawl or fall, whatever you want to call it. And he did that. He went out there. All right, maybe there's a question of, could he have pulled the trigger like that a little sooner, And maybe, but the reason you don't do that until the 5th is because, well, now it's shit or bust. You know what I mean? If I don't get the knockout, I'm definitely going to lose. So you'll make sacrifices. But hey, nothing to be ashamed of. Max Holloway, what do you reckon they do with Max next?
I feel like Max at this point is, essentially a belt in and of himself, right? Because at this point, anybody who knocks Volkanovski off, assuming they're going to do the immediate rematch for Volkanovski because they treat champions like that. But regardless, like Max Holloway gets that next shot now. As soon as anybody else slides into that title spot, as a rule, you beat Max Holloway, you get your own title. As a rule, if you fight Max Holloway, you're probably going to fight for the title pretty damn soon. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, for sure. If you're Max Holloway, you're probably hoping and praying that somehow Yair Rodriguez, car wheel kicks, bloody Volkanovski's head all the way back to Australia. Do you know what I mean? Because who's next? Well, definitely Max is in. If it's not Volk, it's Max for sure. But still, tremendous fight. I thought the crowd was great in Kansas City. They really got a good display of mixed martial arts. So it was fantastic. It was great. Great night of fights, though. A lot of action. Go on, Harrington. Something on your mind?
Did you see the TKZ call out?
Of Max?
Well, no. Max said he wants to fight Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie wants that smoke.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the few people that Max hasn't fought. So it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, what's he going to do? Just carry on beating other people, other contenders, other people trying to build the resume to get a title fight? That doesn't make sense. You want fresh challenges and something you can sell to the people. Like Max versus the Korean Zombie, that's a fight night pay-per-view all day long, or a solid fight on any, fight night pay-per-view. Fight night main event, pardon me. I knew I said something wrong. Fight night main event, or even a solid fight on a pay-per-view, So, yeah, makes sense. And I'm sure the Zombie's all about it as well. What was your highlight of the night, Harrington?
I mean, it had to be Edson Barbozza just going into a time machine, becoming 2014 Edson once again, the deadliest guy on two legs at 155.
Wasn't that insane? Wasn't that insane? I mean, Edson Barbozza, I couldn't believe it. When he stepped into the octagon, the shape of the man. I mean, I even said it on commentary. It's not a bodybuilding contest, and that's a good job. Otherwise, Edson wins right now. I mean, that had to be one of the most ripped people we've ever seen inside the octagon. And he's just like that. He's never been a guy dabbling with steroids. He's never tested positive. He's just a hard-working dude. And save all his Brazilian jokes, you saw to test the crap out of these people. Yeah, it was great to see. The funny thing is that we haven't seen Edson since Bryce Mitchell. And the reason for that was because he blew his knee out. He was just stretching at ATT one day and just this like almighty loud pop, and everyone in the room heard it. And he blew out his LCL, his meniscus, and a few other things. Had that repaired, and he said that he feels better than ever. Now, every time you speak to a fighter and he say that, I'm in the best shape of my life, I'm feeling good. You're like, well, you're 37, what are you thinking about retirement? No, I'm going to make another run. I'm feeling amazing. Normally, when people say that, you're like, we've heard this before, but my God, Edson Barbozza, man, he timed that knee perfectly. And then he was saying, I felt bad for Billy because Billy's great. Billy was having a good performance. The only problem was he was getting a little predictable, going in and like trying to shoot against the fence there. And Edson said he knew he was going to do that. He said 1,000 times in the training camp, I faked the jab and threw the knee, and it landed. I mean, it was so quick and so precise and so deadly because they kind of had their back to us against the octagon, so I couldn't see the knee. I was like, what happened? I didn't see it until the replay. I mean, it was pitch perfect. I mean, they were just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, so quick. And it's like, you going into that fight, you think maybe the blueprint was set there by Bryce, and nope. Yeah,
no, for sure. Well, exactly. Well, to be honest, anytime somebody fights Edson Barbozza, you might want to take him down. Do you know what I mean? You might want to take him down because he's deadly on the feet. But hey, he's back. And he said, I was talking to him afterwards. He said he wants to become the champion. He's still never done that. And it's not a dream that has left his mind. Still thinking about that. And he said he feels better than ever, feels young again. So well done to him. Billy Q, I thought he was fantastic, and he is fantastic. He's a great fighter. We're just going to quickly go through this main card. Hold on, my phone's binging and bonging, or someone's binging and bonging. Is that you or me?
That's
anyway. It's not me. It is me. Azamat Murzakanov, Dustin Jacoby, great fight. Azamat Murzakanov, remember that name because you're going to see a lot more of it. 13-0 now. Typically, when you hear the name Murzakanov or anything that ends in "ov," you think it's just going to be a wrestle fest from start to finish. That man is a bloody hell of a striker. Very, very fast, explosive, beautiful boxing, nice hands, sends a lot of nice feints. I remember one time he threw an uppercut, and halfway through the uppercut, he turned it into a left hook. That's not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? The man's extremely talented. And Jacoby's a tough guy to beat. Tremendous kickboxer, really tall, really long, having a great amount of success in the UFC on his second run. Kind of went hell for leather in round 3. But because Mirzakhanov was clearly tired, I really like Dustin Jacoby, so I'm not going to slag him off, as we say in England. But I didn't understand why he went for the takedown. I didn't understand that because he was having success. He was landing shots. I was calling for the knee up the middle. That would have been the big one because Jacoby's like 6'4", something like that. Yep. Mirzakhanov's like 5'10". Do you know what I mean? The knee would have been perfect, but then he went for a takedown, which, listen, you're on autopilot. You're just trying to win. You're on instinct, but that wasn't the right game plan. But I'm not kicking a man while he's down.
No, we said it while we were joking around with Brian on Saturday. Trying to take down a guy with an OB is like trying to win a land battle in Russia and the winner. Like, that's just not going to work, dude. Stand there and bang. You got him on the feet. That I was thinking the same thing with the uppercut, but man, I do feel I was going to ask you if you let one get away, and clearly.
Well, I wouldn't say let one get away. Listen, the reality is you got to give credit to Mirzakhanov. He clearly won rounds 1 and 2. And round 3, yeah, give it to Jacoby for sure. He was beaten by the better man. Maybe just because he didn't get the takedown doesn't mean he was guaranteed to knock him out. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he let one get away, but hey, he made a strategic error. I don't think that cost him the fight, but in a round that he had to really do some making up, shall we say, he made a strategic error. It happens, spur of the moment. Adrenaline's flying. You're getting punched in the face. You've been cracked about a lot. He made a mistake. How dare he? Do you know what I mean? It's a high pressure situation. So there it is. Now I will say this: I am knackered. Did we talk about the time difference and the jet lag? We did.
We talked about the jet lag, but not the time difference.
Well, it's not too bad. It's only like being in England. But with the flight here, I didn't sleep. Normally you sleep. Normally I'd have a long flight. Do you know what I mean? So I'd get a nice bit of shut eye. But it was zip zap zopping all over the bloody place. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't get any sleep whatsoever. So I'm still out of it. Yesterday when I got here, I was like a zombie. And then to top it off, to add insult to injury, when I got here, they didn't have a room.
What?
There was no room. I mean, I got one eventually, but I was like, are you serious? So anyway, so then I went to bed and I'm still kind of out of it today. So I apologize, boys and girls. But Thursday we'll be rocking and rolling. We'll have a guest. We'll have Anthony Smith back, and Harrington might even have a half decent camera. You never know. Pets' heads might fall off.
Oh, man. Do you want to talk about any of these non-MMA stars?
I do. Go on then. Give me one.
So you had sent this to us. I found this extremely interesting. Young people in South Korea are now going to be offered $500 a month just to leave the house. The notes here, 338,000 people in South Korea identify as hermits. They don't want to leave the house. They're full on shut-ins.
Hold on. Say that number again.
338,000 people between, I think it was 19 and 39. Are just classified as hermits who live alone, have no interest in leaving the house.
And what's the population of South Korea?
I will look
Brian,
that up.
We just look that up real quick. Yeah. I'm going to say 60 million.
For the whole,
just look 40. It up. You don't have to predict it.
That was pretty close. It is 51.74 million.
Harrington was going to say 51.75.
Yeah, no, just over.
Oh, too much. You bust. All right, so that's for a small. It's not a small population, but still, almost 400,000 people say they classify as hermits and continue.
Yeah. So in Japan, that number got all the way up to 1 million. Right. So Korea is trying to get ahead of things, and they're now offering just an extra $500 a month if you leave your house.
I like it.
Just to entice them back into society. It's pretty cool.
If Anthony Smith was here, I would say, I like it a lot. Which movie?
Dumb and Dumber?
Dumber,
Ace Ventura. Oh, okay.
It's Dumb and Dumber. I like it a lot. Is it? Yes, very similar.
Yeah. You know.
Dumb and Dumber. You've got me bloody questioning myself. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
So you're telling me if I just lived my regular life in South Korea,
Oh yeah,
paid, and I could also get paid from the government to sometimes leave my house.
Brian, you'd be getting a nice little side hustle.
Dog, I'm moving. I could do
A
this
little
show.
bit of moonlighting.
It's only for people 9 to 24. For Brian, they'd be like, nah, he's a lost cause.
Damn,
Yeah.
dog. Aged
I
out.
like it. I like it a lot. I really do, because the thing is, in this modern day and age, you don't really need to leave your house as much. And all the entertainment at your fingertips, on your phone, on the TV, on the streaming services, computer games, consoles, PCs. You know what I mean? Kids don't need to go out. But I think it's so important for them. They need to get out there. I sound like an old man now. I say this to Lucas all the time. Excuse me. Sparkling bloody water. Who wants sparkling water in a hotel room? That's why I'm burping.
Is it chilled?
Water?
It's chilled. Yeah, it's cold. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking that 10 times out of 10.
In the middle of the night,
Yes,
you wake up. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you're thirsty, right, and you just want to have a quick look, and then go back to sleep, you want sparkling water.
I have a soda stream. We always have cold liters of seltzer for middle of the night drinking.
You're going to burp in the middle of the night. You're going to get in bed. You're going to be, I'm going to go back to sleep now. And you're going to be burping. That is, Harrington.
And just like my baby, it comforts me and I fall right to sleep. It's nature's sleeping pill.
There is a reason why we have very varying levels of fitness on this show.
Yeah, very varying levels of fitness. My God, Harrington, we need to talk about your drinking habits another time. But can we go back to these South Koreans? Yeah, it's a great thing. Kids need to get out there and get amongst it. They need to go out. They need to play. They need to interact. They need to meet people. They need to have new experiences. They need to find themselves in little pieces of mischiefs. In fact, mischiefs. I shared this, I think just a day or two. Or it wasn't on my main feed. It was like, hold on, is it on here? Is it on here? Come on, be there. No, it's not there. It was something like, my mum thinks I just rode around the block for 2 hours. But in that time, I went out, we did this, we did that, we made a Ouija board, we started a fire, we did all kinds of stuff. That's the type of stuff youngsters, children should be getting into, not just sitting in front of a screen. And especially if they're hermits, with all this highlight that there is on mental health, and it's certainly the younger generation as well are struggling with anxiety and all the rest of it. Well, if you never have to meet people, if you never have to get out there and get amongst it, that's only going to get heightened and accentuated. Like I remember when Callum and Ellie, they were starting to get like, what age was it now? I don't know. I would send them into the store by themselves. I'd say, right, go in there. If they wanted like, I don't know, a soda or whatever, you know what I mean, soda stream. I'd say, right, you're going to go get it yourself. And they'd be like, what? I'm like, yep, don't worry. Here's the money. You just go in, you say, I would like. It's fine. Go on. You need to get out there and get amongst it. And I know that's a stupid comparison. But these kids, they don't have to leave. They don't have to leave the house.
It's not exactly the dumbest. Did you ever see, there's a Netflix show about that? Like sending 5-year-olds to the store with like a grocery list and can you come back with all these items? And it's like they film it. It's actually pretty cute. And it is a thing where it's like, am I gonna try this with my kid? Like supervised, obviously, but
we had a local shop growing up on the corner where I lived called Tunney's. Shout out to Bernard Tunney, who passed away recently. Doesn't mean anything to you guys, but he did. Rest in peace, old Bernard, Big B. And anyway, my mum and dad would send me sprinting because it closed at 10 o'clock, and I was like 4, something like that. And they'd be like, quick, run up the store, get us some fags, cigarettes, go get us some cigarettes. And, obviously in those days, a 4 or 5-year-old could buy cigarettes. They didn't care. They were for my mum or dad. And I always terrified. I'd come when I was leaving back at 10 o'clock at night. What's that?
Old enough.
This is the show he's talking about.
Oh, that's the show, is it?
Insane.
I'm on my laptop, so everything's very small, and I only have one eye. Yeah. I'd be terrified coming back as a kid. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent. These Koreans, get yourselves out there. Get amongst it. No wonder you're bloody weirdos. Talking about Koreans, talking about kids.
What's the best way to spend $500 in your new lifestyle? You have to get out of the house and go do things in Korea. How are you blowing $500 in a day so you can go back home and just go back to Twitch streaming?
Well, I do know that a certain percentage of the population will be using that $500 to buy drugs. Do you know what I mean? So they're inside, they're doing as they're told, they're being a good boy, they're doing the homework, they're going to bed nice and early, they're getting up for school the next day, fresh as a daisy. But the government came out with this new strategy. All of a sudden, they're going out, they're night owls, the grades are slipping. They're addicted to crack. You know what I mean? I'm not sure they thought this one through.
All right. Well, South Korea. I mean, short South Korea is what I'm hearing. Get these shut-ins back in the house.
Yeah. Because like, I don't want to speak for the entire generation of young people, but some of them are a little socially challenged.
Yeah.
You'll see that with Aura.
I think that's like, I do think we are going to do stuff like that though. Like, cause I do know people with young children who I'm like, oh, you can actually like talk to adults and do things. And then there are the kids who are like, yeah, you're just not ready for the world yet. And I do want to raise like a cool kid. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this, American children, there's definitely a difference between American children and British children. And I don't mean all of them, but I just think generally, American kids are way more confident. Like a lot of English kids, I wasn't necessarily like this because I was always a bit of a loudmouth, obviously. But a lot of English kids, they're very nervous. You know what I mean? And they look at the floor, and they kick their feet together and stuff like that. And they don't pronounce their words properly. And they're not confident, in these kind of interactions. But I will say American kids, geez Louise, you ask them a question, it's like, I'm getting lectured by a professor. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, smart ass, shut up. Get back in your box. Shut up. But yeah, no, there definitely is a difference there. So it's good. It's good. All right, today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And BetterHelp offer professional counseling, which is done securely online. So if you feel that there's something getting in the way of your happiness or preventing you from being the best version of yourself, then BetterHelp could be exactly what you are looking for. I say it all the time. Generally, we're all going through some things. And if you have had the realization that you are going through something, and whether that's addiction, temper, you're depressed, anxiety, whatever it is, if you've thought to yourself, you need to get something done about this, the BetterHelp is going to be a tremendous match for you because it's the easiest way to do this. It's very, very convenient. When you sign up, BetterHelp matches you with your own licensed professional therapist who you can communicate with in just under 48 hours. And as I always say, this isn't self-help. It's not a crisis line. It is professional counseling done securely online. And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. And it's easy and free to switch doctors if you need to. So send the message to your counselor at any time. You're going to get a thoughtful response. Plus, you can schedule weekly or video or phone sessions. So it's the perfect way if you're very, very busy. You're never going to drive anywhere. You're not going to have awkward introductions or anything like that. Plus, as I say, it's what you need. It's what you need to take care of that mental health. There's been a big focus on mental health recently, which is a fantastic thing, but still, a lot of people still feel there's a stigma. If you need help, go to betterhelp.com/believe and join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Listen, this is the real deal. They have over 1 million testimonials from people that are satisfied customers, and it's really going to help. It's going to make a difference for you. So if there is something, as I said at the start of the ad, that's getting in the way of you being the best you, then go to betterhelp.com/believe. That is betterhelp.com/believe. You're going to get 10% off your first month. And one more time, betterhelp.com/believe for 10% off your first month. Anyway, do we have to continue talking about South Koreans getting paid drug money to play out?
Why would we do that when we can talk about John Jones maybe fighting?
We're not talking about John Jones because you don't drive the show, Harrington. We've got some other fights to talk about first. We're in a double retirement, and I just want to make a special shout out to Ed Herman and his opponent, of course, Zach Cummins, right? Ed Herman is 42 years old. He was on The Ultimate Fighter when I was on The Ultimate Fighter. One might say that I had a great career. I had a good run. I had a lot of fights. I retired 4 years ago Ed Herman retired Saturday night. I mean, talk about staying power. I mean, of course, he's younger than me, but, what a career, and yeah, all right, wins and losses along the way. But Ed Herman's a real life tough guy. You know what I mean? He really is, and still in there at his age, going strong. All right, he had a tough night at the office. Zach Cummins, he retired as well, right? Yeah, double retirement. He had the best performance, I think, of his career on his retirement night in his hometown. And it was the first time that his daughter ever got to come and see him fight. So from that regard, it was beautiful. And I think for both men, congratulations on a great career.
Yeah, I was going to say the only thing, Ed Herman also was like his kid's first time seeing him. So like, it was nice. It was nice that they both got to retire with their families there. It was weird to me that Zach kind of announced it before the fight and then Ed did it after, and longest tenured UFC fighter.
We're talking about retirements. You probably saw Dana wasn't too pleased with Clay Guida. Clay Guida, by the way, went out there. He joined the show last week. Clay's a legend. Everyone loves him. How could you not? His energy, just the way he fights, he brings it every time. But his opponent, Rafa Garcia, he was really good. That was probably one of the best performances we've seen from Rafa. Clay, with respect, was a little predictable, kept throwing hooks, level changer, but not really shooting too much. And listen, Clay's not young either. Do you know what I mean? It's hard when you're that age going against these young men, absolutely in their primes, without wear and tear, without all the damage and the psychological damage as well. It's tough, but Rafa was great. The straight punches, beating the hooks all night long. Takedown defense was on point. Afterwards, it looked like Clay was going to retire, right? And then he just got on and said happy birthday and all the rest of it. Do we have the interview?
Clay, you took your gloves off. Are you walking away from the game?
What do you say, Kansas City? Let me hear you guys. What do you say, Kansas City? I tricked you guys. There ain't no way I'm walking away yet. Congratulate this young man, Rafa Garcia.
All right. So, and Dana was a little annoyed at that. And I see people, and here we go, wait for it. And not only am I biased, company man Bisping, right? But you got to consider, they are running a live TV event. You know what I'm saying? And so there was a lot of fights, and there was 14 fights Saturday night. And when it looks like somebody like Clay Guida is going to retire, then they will make the time. And by the way, I'm saying this, I'm like letting you in on it, because I said letting you in. I mean, people listening, if they don't know, it's pretty straightforward. But if they don't know, I'm going to explain it. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on. It's live TV. There's advertisers. There's all kinds of stuff. There's schedules. There's the next program and all the rest of it. They have to condense it and fit it into a certain amount of time. And they have a certain amount of advertisers that have agreed that they're going to be advertised on there and all the rest of it. But when somebody like Clay Guida, and I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that as well, when someone like Clay Guida, who's had such a long tenure in the UFC, and he's a legend of the sport, is going to retire, then they go, shit, right, well, we got to give him his time. We got to give him his time. So they're making changes on the fly. And then, I don't think Clay meant anything bad about it. You know what I mean? But just that was kind of like why Dana said that. And when Dana said it, I fully understood. But I saw tons of memes and stuff the next day. Oh, Dana's just being grouchy and grumpy. It's like, well, there's live TV. It's like, another example is like, sometimes I'll go in and I'll ask someone a question in the ring. I'll ask them 2 questions. And then I've got to get out of that. People, they try and grab the microphone and they want to say something, right? And I don't let them say it. And I get messages in my inbox all the time. People going, Bisping, you're a prick. Why don't you just let him have that last word? It's like, hold on. Do you think I run the UFC? Do you think I'm making these decisions? Oh, you know what? I like this guy. I'm going to let him have an extended amount of time, or don't like this guy. I'm not going to give him many questions. You know what I mean? I have an earpiece in and I am being directed from my earpiece precisely how many questions to ask, when to wrap it up. And sometimes they're like, wrap, we've got to go to break. And if they just cut to break, it's sloppy. It's messy. You know what I'm saying? So there you go, boys and girls. A little bit of info for you.
Dude, they have to make the whoever's doing the interview has to be jacked. Like, no matter who it is, like, because you need to win that battle every time when you have a UFC.
Oh, you mean when they're trying to
want
pull
more
the
mic time? Yeah.
yeah. They're going to win that off me. No, none of them. I hold it with my right. Hold on. No, I hold it with my left. Man, this left arm, baby, I still got it. The right arm's weak as fuck. It is weak, but the left, I reckon I could be an arm wrestler. Anyway, let's go through this. Pedro Munoz, Chris Gutierrez. Pedro looked phenomenal. Chris Gutierrez is the real deal, man. I mean, he's such a great striker, and I'm so high on him. But, you know, hey, he slept a bit on Saturday night. Pedro was on the money, dropped him in the first round. Pedro reminded the world, you know, he lost 3 in a row. It was to Sugar Sean O'Malley, which is a no contest, right? No contest. And then it was the Jose Aldo, and then it was the other one. Jose Aldo, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and Dominic Cruz. And Dominic Cruz, you know what I mean? So people write you off, put you out to pasture far, far, far too soon in this sport. I thought Pedro looked incredible. So well done to him for that one. So I just wanted to quickly round up. So, we never mentioned D1 Cutelaba and Tanner Boza. Cutelaba got back to winning ways, sensational. He's a wild man. He's a bit mental. You know, his emotions get the better of him. He was throwing massive looping right hands, massive looping rights, connect, and then he went straight. And I think that was a plan, because if someone's throwing big looping shots, you bring this arm out here to block it. Well, you're bringing that out there to block it, but then it comes straight. You know what I mean? So it was very, very smart of Cutelaba and Boza. Oh, well, he'll be back. He'll be back. All right, Harrington, give me a story.
Okay. Biggest news probably UFC 288. Couple big shakeups. Charles Olivera is out of the co-main event against Beneil Dariush. The UFC did say, Dana White said on the post-fight show that he is looking for a co-main to replace that fight.
Yeah. Was there any word yet who it was going to be? Because I've seen a few potential rumors circling around. Did you see any names?
So I saw Gilbert Burns. He was calling out a number of people. One of them was Dustin Poirier. Dustin said that he's not in camp right now, but money talks, so we'll see. Another guy, Bilal Muhammad, said that he was 100% willing to take the fight against Gilbert Burns, but then they were going back and forth on Twitter about needing to make weight. So I guess Muhammad wanted to do it at 185 instead of 170. Don't know that for sure, but that's what I'm applying.
Oh, God. I mean, my initial thought there, I don't want to talk bad about Bilal because he's such a great guy. He's such a great guy, right? How can you not like Bilal Muhammad, right? And he's on a, 8-fight unbeaten streak. You know, he's making a lot of noise. He's talking a lot of crap. You know, he's disgruntled, shall we say, at the moment. And I get it. He feels he's being looked over. But to call out Gilbert Burns, and this is where I say I don't want to talk bad, but here it is. To call out Gilbert Burns, and who knows, maybe Gilbert Burns would say it, but Bilal is the one that says I want to do it at 185. That's kind of crazy. Why would they do that? That doesn't mean anything in the welterweight division because it wasn't competed at welterweight. Yeah, I'm not talking bad about Bilal. Maybe he's got his reasoning that I'm not aware of, but that's it's a surprise.
Bilal did make the point. You had to cut weight just a couple of weeks ago, so it's not fair to ask you to have to then cut again now, like within the 6-week period. And it's also Ramadan for Bilal, so like he's already struggling, you know, with weight stuff. It's really going to be tough to add a weight cut in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, don't fight them when it's Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's just that I get it. He wants to fight, but you know, there's limitations in fasting and all the rest of it. And what?
I'm reading here. Catch weight was 175.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, even still, make 170. That's the weight class. But whatever. Shout out Bilal Muhammad. Love the guy. Who was the other one? Dustin and
Gilbert.
Dustin and Gilbert. Yeah, I'd like that fight. Just as a fan. You know, it doesn't really mean much in the division, in either division. It's just a fun fight. Gilbert Burns, Dustin Poirier, take my money. You know what I mean? That'd be awesome. I mean, because Gilbert's an incredible grappler. We don't need to go into that stuff. But if it was to play out on the feet, that'd be fun. That'd be awesome. But we can live in hope. But is there a co-main event, a new one yet?
The co-main event that is in there right now is Jessica Andrade. She is, I think it's Yan Jianan.
Yan Jianan. Good fight. It's a shame about Beneil and Charles, though. That's a real shame. I mean, Charles Olivera We all know the career. I love that guy. Just the story, the underdog story, losing so many fights, getting finished several times, and then becoming the champ. And he's got like such a stake. If he was to beat Beneil, he'd be fighting for the belt. If Beneil was to fight Charles, he'd be fighting for the belt. You know what I'm saying? So massive, massive stakes for both of them there. So that's a shame, but they're going to put that on the next pay-per-view. And hey, see, that's the bloody carbonated water. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Going to be a burper.
Bet it feels good now, doesn't it?
Doesn't feel good. No, I'm just embarrassed myself in front of gradually less and less people because Anthony's not on.
Hey, if you made it this long, you're hanging to the end.
Hanging to the bloody end. They better have it. I'm tired as well, so I apologize. But still, yeah, I mean, these things happen, MMA, But Charles, well, not so much Charles, more Beneil. I feel for Beneil, but he just got to wait another month, right? Something like that.
Yes, that's what I saw. In a number of places were reporting that they were keeping the matchup together for UFC UFC's return to Vancouver at UFC 299.
Well, that's good for that card. You know what I mean? Beneil Dariush and Charles Olivera. That's a solid fight. It's a month. It happens all the time. It's a shame. It's a shame for that card as well. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Harrington? Tell me, what are you going to do?
I am going to tell you about something. Do you want to hear something MMA or non-MMA?
Give me a non-MMA.
Okay. So there is a new cancer treatment that's being worked on right now that I thought was pretty interesting.
I'm tired. I've got a headache. I haven't slept well in days. I'm in Anthony Smith's echoey room. It's pitch dark. I've got a lamp with no shade blaring in my face and giving me shadows. And you're giving me serious stories about cancer. Go on. All
right. Well, we could also do treadmills or exercise bikes at a McDonald's.
No, you can't do that to the people. That's like the people listening, they want to hear what the story was about. Right? Because that's like, these people that come up and go, oh my God, you're not going to believe what's happened. You're not going to believe this. Oh, can't tell you. That guy can fuck off. Those people that do that, go, oh my God, you're not going to believe what's happened. You're not going to believe what I just heard. Oh, it's crazy. But I can't tell you. Well, shut up then. Shut up.
All right. How about this? This new implant about the size of a grain of rice can be directly injected into what they've seen so far with pancreatic tumors. Using like gene therapy in the little implant, it's shown to reduce the size of the tumor significantly, and it's a much better, healthier alternative to chemotherapy.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. I just want to debate this. Hold on, go back to that a minute. That's smaller than a grain of rice. That looks about the same size as a grain of rice. In fact, I'd say a pretty big grain of rice.
No, like those long, yellow Zatarans rice, it's way smaller than that.
Well, I've never had a yellow Zataran rice. When I go down the Chinese, right, and I get rice, the pieces of rice are about that big.
It is about that. Well, regardless.
Brian, can you bring up someone holding a picture of a handful of rice, please, and give us a side-by-side? That's about the size of a piece of rice. I mean, it's all well and good. The headline could have just been, scientists create incredible thing that's going to cure cancer, and it's about the size of rice. They didn't have to lie and make the story even better, and it's smaller than a grain of rice. Like, people would have gone, all right, that's cool. If they went, it's the size of a grain of rice. Oh my God, it's legit the same size. That is legit the same size.
That is.
Oh dear. Right anyway. Oh God, that's actually funny. Good picture, Brian. Well, that's amazing. That is incredible. It really is. It really is. I mean, modern science, it's a marvel, isn't it? It really is. I mean, just my own experiences, like Perillo, my coach, got a detached retina. He was an undefeated professional boxer. Detached retina, ended his career. I was able to continue fighting for many years. Well, they did repair it, but then it fucked up again, and I kept that quiet. But still, they were able to repair it. I've got fake knees. I'm running them every day. And now, it's just more and more stuff. I mean, they're talking about bloody fixing eyes as well. But the fact that they can get rid of cancer or hopefully be able to cure one kind. I think it's pancreatic cancer that it said in the article, right? I mean, my God, please. So it's such a killer, man. It's just disgusting. And the sadness that families go through because of that disease.
Well, it is, but just the idea of that technology, right? Like if you can just singularly target one part of the body, implant something, and just hit it with a ton of medicine in just that one localized area, just the amount of people who aren't going to be suffering through modern day cancer treatments anymore is that's what's really awesome to me.
No, it really is. And it's incredible. The new techniques that they're coming up with all the time. I mean, hopefully one day, we'll live in a world where cancer is a thing of the past,
Pretty sick.
Well, that would be incredible. I think most people have lost somebody to cancer. I mean, I'm pretty lucky, not in my, not my mum or dad or anyone like that, but I've had aunties and uncles go to cancer, of course. I think most people know someone in their extended family.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have like a grandparent or two. My dad's had to deal with skin cancer. I feel like that's everybody.
They say, Brian, just look this up. I think it's 1 in 4 people get cancer.
Yeah, if you're including skin cancer and like the ones that are like easily operable, for sure has to be one in 4.
I mean, that's a quarter of all people.
No.
We could be one of them. And you know what a lot of it's down to? And I don't know this, I'm no doctor, but it's just my hunch. The diet that people eat these days is just pure junk. It's junk. And listen, I'm not perfect. My God, I'm not lecturing anybody, but just modern foods, you know what I mean? They're just not natural at all. The ingredients and the chemicals and, it's just, and I get all this information from my mother-in-law. She's always going on about it and lecturing me and boring me to death when she's over here. But it's absolutely true. People always ask what percentage of the US population gets cancer. The map shows that we tend to see a higher prevalence of cancer in higher income countries. Prevalence of cancer ranges from approximately 5.5% of the population in the US down to 0.4% in countries shown in light yellow. Brian, just tell me, what are some of the countries in light yellow? And I'm assuming this will kind of go back to the point I'm talking about. More money, more wealth, different foods, more exotic foods, manufactured foods. Poorer countries it'll be all natural, won't it? You know what I mean? I'd like to think so.
Like I remember reading a book by Malcolm Gladwell where he talked about exactly that, right? Like there was a village in like Pennsylvania that still had old world Italian techniques and they grew their own vegetables and ate all their own food.
Yep.
People in that place, no one got sick ever. No one had cancer.
So the yellower countries, just move the thing away so I can see the map, Brian. What was the reddest? Well, what's that dark red one? They got cancer to fuck. What is that, Mongolia?
That's got to be the Ukraine.
That's not Ukraine there, buddy.
No?
It's Greenland.
I think Ukraine are going, is it Ukraine?
No, I was saying...
This is Greenland?
No, that's Greenland.
No, talking in the middle of Asia.
The middle of Asia, that one there.
Mongolia. Okay.
I was right, Mongolia.
You did nail it.
The bloody people of Ukraine are going through enough without you labeling them as the number one cancer getters.
I just thought because they had a literal nuclear reaction in their country.
Yeah. No, it's true though. So guys, put down the fake shit. It's crazy though, isn't it? I mean, I saw Elon Musk. When I say it's crazy, the technology. Did you see Elon Musk? It was a while ago on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he was talking about some chips that they will soon be able to put into people's brains.
Oh, yeah.
And it will heal them. And they'll be able to walk. We might have even talked about this. If we did, I apologize. But yeah, if they're paralyzed or whatever kind of conditions they have, just by inserting these chips, they'll be eradicated of these terrible conditions. It's just unbelievable. It's real life science fiction happening before our very eyes.
Yeah, I think he's moved on with that. I have been reading some stuff about just trying to get into human trials for that. But yeah, if you can recover, if you can somehow connect those neural pathways that are dead, then yeah, anything's possible.
And then, sorry, I apologize, Harrington. Everyone, anything's possible. What? You didn't know that? All you got to do is connect the neural pathways. Anything's possible. What? Pigs can fly? If you connect those neural pathways, will pigs be able to fly?
Okay, so just that? No.
If you connect those neural pathways, will I be able to jump off the top floor of this hotel?
You'll be able to jump higher.
Store down there, buy what I want, and then jump back up.
You'll be able to jump higher.
The neural pathways are connected, bro. What's that thing that Brian, you jump on, you'll know about this. What's Musk working on? The something link? The mind link or something?
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me pull up what that's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Neuralink. I think it's Neuralink.
Nailed it. It is Neuralink.
Yeah, Neuralink. Well, soon you'll be able to read. We were talking about this on the last episode about consciousness, but I think you'll be able to read people's minds and they can read your minds. And I'm like, no way. I'm not signing up for that one. Not a chance in bloody hell.
That's too much. Like, I feel like at that point, they're just checking their work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. They're bloody interfering. They're going to cause a lot of breakups. I know that. You know, why are you thinking of her? But what's it say, Brian? Just give me the lowdown on what the actual Neuralink is.
Neuralink, it says on their website, they are developing ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces to connect humans and computers.
Wow. It's crazy.
So,
world,
yeah.
guys.
I mean, your brain would be part of a net.
Yeah, Skynet. It's hard enough getting my mum a bloody, what is it? An ulcer. Is it not an ulcer? What do you call it? A hernia. My mum's got a hernia. She just had an operation today. You know what a hernia is, right?
Yeah. It's like a muscle pull, right?
Yeah, she's been waiting, the bloody NHS in the UK, all the strikes and all the rest of it. She's been waiting for years, but it's got massive now. So I've just had to pay for it to go bloody private. So never mind bloody Neuralink. We're still struggling with hernias over in the Bisping family. Anyway, should we get back to some MMA?
Yeah. Sounds good.
So let's have a look. What's going on with John Jones? Madison Square Garden data said.
Yeah, so John Jones, we talked about it on the show last week. Dana had said that he disappeared after, winning the heavyweight title. Jones fired back saying that, he dips out lays low for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden he's running from people. He followed up by saying, wouldn't it be cool to have my retirement fight beating up the greatest heavyweight of all time in my home state of Madison Square Garden? He
does a good job of saying these cryptic things. Because I saw, and again, I'm not being a company man, I saw Dana talk about this. He said, hey, you guys do this. I say poof, he disappears, and you guys write some big article and you start, extrapolating the wrong things and thinking that he's disappeared and he's not fighting and things like that. That's generally what the fighters do. You know what I mean? The UFC is a business that continues to run. When someone's done fight, when the fight finishes, they might not fight again for 2 months, 6 months, a year, who knows? They just keep going until you get in touch and say, hey, I want to fight, or they'll come to you. But it doesn't mean you're in constant communication. But Jones does a very, very good job of, that's a cryptic tweet. That would be disappointing for all the John Jones fans and just for MMA as a whole, I think. Jones steps out for 3 years. You know what I mean? There's a big void. He comes back. He looks amazing against Cyril Gahn. And then he's going to have one more and call it a day. I mean, listen, the man can live his life and do whatever he wants. But as a fan, I'll be fuming.
So this is actually pretty funny. One of the fans reached out, chill, I'm not ready for your retirement. Jones then quote tweeted it, okay, my bad, I'll keep fighting.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good response. I did see that. That's funny. Jones versus Stipe, Madison Square Garden, take my money. I don't think Jones has ever fought there, so I think it would be only fitting to have somebody with the greatness of John Jones there. I mean, that'd be amazing, Stipe, Anthony doesn't know what's going on with Stipe, does he, though? Has Stipe come out? Has Stipe been tweeting recently? Has he said anything?
Yeah, I think Stipe, this started because Stipe accused John Jones of running from the fight in July.
Ah, really? Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Stipe's up for it then.
Oh, yeah.
Good. What do you reckon, Stipe, John Jones, early pick?
I've never seen until I see somebody beat John Jones. I'm not going to think anybody can beat John Jones.
He's only human.
Is he though?
Puts his trousers on one leg at a time.
All right. I mean, let's see when he bleeds.
Does John Jones piss standing up or sitting down?
I don't know, dude. I don't feel like John Jones does any unnecessary wasted movement. So, yeah, of course he's sitting. He's preserving that body.
Yeah. Depends on the dick pills. Oh, dear.
All right, let's see here. How about this? Leon Edwards says you're not going to see him this summer. He's not coming back until October. And he has an idea, or till the fall, and he has an idea for where he wants to fight.
Yeah, he wants to fight in Abu Dhabi. I don't know. Listen, I get it. He's the champion of the world. He fought Kamaru. He didn't rush back, whatever. Came back in March. That's decent. July's a quick turnaround. So, there's some people out there like Israel Adesanya that just, they're mind blowing. The schedule's crazy. But I do think that's, you're the champion of the world. There's a tremendous amount of pressure. You go out there, you beat Kamaru Usman. You're allowed to step off the gas. You're allowed to enjoy the riches of your spoils. The spoils of your riches, pardon me. You know what I mean? There's some shouting going on outside.
Damn, dude, Tenerife is popping.
It's popping out there. There's some shouting and screaming. Oh my God, investigate. No, listen, so what was it? He fought in March, April, May, June, July. It's 4 months. Listen, he wants to have a bit of a break. He's entitled to. He's the champion of the world. Wants to fight in Abu Dhabi. I'd rather fight in London. No offense to Abu Dhabi, beautiful place, and I really, really enjoyed my time there. But as a Brit, it doesn't get much better than fighting in London.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is like you just kind of want to test yourself all over the world thing, like go to the different Street Fighter levels.
Yep.
I feel like Abu Dhabi is that.
No. Well, Abu Dhabi is an amazing place. And I get it. You did raise a good point there. Like, one of my things that I'm very grateful of is that I fought all over the world, and there's nothing cooler than that, and it looks like he's kind of accepted now it's going to be Colby, right?
He said that his exact quote is there's no actual number one contender. I'm not getting into camp for any of these guys, but he didn't say specifically in that quote that he wouldn't fight Colby.
It's going to be Colby. Who else is it going to be? It's not going to be anybody else. It's going to be Colby. Colby's right there. Gilbert Burns. Unless Colby gets injured in training camp or something like that. That would be the only way that I don't see it. Donald Trump's favorite fighter. Will Donald Trump be at the fight? That's what I want to know. What do you reckon?
Well, if he showed up for Masvidal and not for Colby, that would be pretty hurtful.
But Mar-a-Lago is just down the street from Miami, isn't it? He lives in Florida. You know what I mean? Don't know if you know this. Abu Dhabi's a bit of a trek.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How much do you love Colby?
Yeah, loves him a lot, though. Loves him a lot. But Colby Covington, Leon Edwards, lots to talk about there. We'll get to that later, though, when it gets signed.
What if?
Go on.
What if Gilbert Burns was to take this Dustin Poirier fight, went out there, put on a masterful performance on Dustin Poirier? Like, is there anything any of these top contenders can do to leapfrog that?
You can never say never. And Dana says that himself, but I just feel like when Dana has announced that that's going to happen, when Colby, and we're kind of repeating ourselves now, that's why I wanted to move on, because we've had this conversation. But when Colby flew out and he was the backup fighter, and all right, he lost a couple, but it was only to Kamaru, So I kind of get it. It's weird, isn't it? It's kind of a log jam, but it shouldn't be. Masvidal's gone. That was another one that Leon probably would have liked. And I think the MMA world would have liked. I would have liked. Leon versus Masvidal would have been great, but Leon's now retired. So Masvidal's now retired. What are the rankings? Who do we have? So it's Bilal. Bilal Muhammad's making a lot of noise. He should have said that fight against Gilbert Burns at 170. If he would have beaten Gilbert Burns, he'd be fighting for the belt next. I don't mean instead of Colby, but he could have sat out. That would be, I think that's just a signature win that he needs. Bilal's awesome, but he's just, Sean Brady is a really, really good fighter and a really tough guy to beat. And it's a very impressive win. And the fact that he stopped him with his hands as opposed to using his wrestling is really good. But it's not normally a name right now. No offense to Sean Brady. He may grow to become one of those. But he's not one of those names right now that I think gets you a title fight. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only problem for Bilal right now.
That is actually super interesting. I was thinking like it's similar to the Max Holloway thing. I think he can, if a new guy comes in, he can sit out for a year. Bilal would put himself in that same kind of catbird seat.
Well, Bilal, Who else is in that position? We had Leon Edwards was in that for a while. Bilal Muhammad. There's another one out there on a massive win streak. Who's the other one?
I mean, Hamzat?
I mean,
No?
yeah, he's on a massive win streak. He's not on a massive win streak in the UFC.
Oh, Shavkat?
Oh, Shavkat. Yeah. He's not.
It
who I'm
was
thinking
Arnold
of, though.
Allen.
Arnold Allen. Sorry, that was it. Yeah. No, and you're right. Sadly, he's no longer on a win streak. He's biased. He said sadly. Yeah. It's a shame for Arnold. You know what I mean? And then someone was like, because I went, let's go, Max. It's like, yeah, Max Holloway's back. That's awesome. Max Holloway's a huge star. But I thought I was biased for Arnold. Which one is it? Can't have it both ways. All right, let's talk about private internet access, our latest sponsor. If you're like me, anytime you go to bed, you're trying to watch TV, you're trying to find something to stream on Netflix or whatever, and you can't find anything. Okay, you've seen it all before. It's all just a load of junk, and you keep hearing about this show or that show, but you can't seem to find it. Okay, that is why you need private internet access. It's basically a VPN for your TV, and over 30 million people have signed up for this. So, listen, there's a lot of shows out there. Like, look at Squid Game. That was Korean. Okay, I like to watch. Just recently, I've been using it. It's called Come Dine With Me. It's from Channel 4. I've been using it to watch all my old British programs as well. So, listen, if you want to watch some other stuff, if you have watched almost everything, if you're watching too much TV, or you want to watch TV from other countries like the UK, Germany, Japan, there's all kinds of crazy stuff out there, then you need to try private internet access, okay? If you want all the benefits of private internet access, then now is the time to subscribe. Head to PIAVPN, private internet access, PIAVPN.com/believe. Listen to this. You'll get an 83% discount. Seriously, 83%. That is $2.03 a month. And you'll also get 4 extra months completely for free, because we're awesome. But you must go to PIAVPN.com/believe for a truly private digital life. No one's going to know what you're doing. It's nobody's business. Plus, you're going to have access to so much more stuff when you put the private internet access VPN onto your TV. And you're going to get 83% off. One last time, PIAVPN.com/believe. Anyway. It's a light MMA week, news week, isn't it? There's not much going on right now. Is the fights this week? Oh, there is. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades, another guy throwing his hat in the ring, says that, for whatever reason, that Stipe fight hasn't come together. He should be the one fighting John Jones.
What was the actual quote? He had a good quote about Jones. He said, I'm too athletic. I can wrestle. I hit hard, something like that. I'll be the man to beat John Jones. I love his confidence. And those are the kind of things that he should be saying. And against Sergey Pavlovich, I mean, Sergey's a monster. But if Curtis can wrestle, I think there's a potential. He either gets knocked out, and here's sitting on the fence one-on-one. He either gets knocked out cold, like Derek Lewis did, or he smashes him to bits on the ground. Do you know what I mean? They're two very, very real possibilities. Sergey Pavlovich hasn't shown to be the best grappler. Over him, mold him on the ground. If Curtis Blades, who hits hard and has got vicious ground and pound, if he can get Sergey down, he'll maul him down there. But that's a big if.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we've seen this test come up for Curtis Blades before, and he's turned it back time and time and time again. And the guys who he didn't turn back were Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. So it's like, is this guy, is Sergey actually on that level of those guys in their prime? Or, is he, this is a very big test, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, it's interesting because, Francis Ngannou was a guy that stylistically is very similar to Sergey Pavlovich, and he became a megastar and became the champion of the world and defended it against Cyril Gane. Well, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He lost. He did. He defended it. He unified the belts to Cyril Gane. I haven't slept in 2 days. I am exhausted. And he defended against Cyril Gane. So the fact that he did that, why can't Sergey Pavlovich do that? You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think he will. I mean, the man hits. I don't know. Who do you reckon hits harder, Pavlovich or Sergey? I reckon it's pretty even. I mean, have you seen
Sergey or Ngannou, you're saying?
Sergey or Francis. I mean, they both hit ridiculously hard. I don't think there's much in it, to be fair.
No, it's close. It's definitely, and he is an absolute wrecking machine. I don't see how you can fight that guy for 25 minutes and he won't find an opening.
Sergey, well, it's simple. For 22 minutes, you run around the octagon. You do. You don't engage. And then he'll get tired. He'll get tired. And then when he gets tired, you smash him to bits. It's that easy. Good luck with that, though. Good luck with that. Talking about, there was something that came in my head there. Oh, Francis Ngannou. What is he doing? What is going on with Francis Ngannou? I know there was talk about the PFL, and we talked about this. The PFL don't have the kind of money that he wants. Bare Knuckle Boxing said that he's asking for unrealistic money. Dana just again at a press conference, did you see that? He said, yeah, he will never come back. He said, we spent 2 years negotiating with this guy. I'm quoting Dana here. He said, Hunter went out for like 75 dinners with him, trying to make a deal, and he still couldn't get to it. So we're not going to waste our time again. So he might have burned bridges there. I don't know if the boxing fights are going to materialize. And the more John Jones is the heavyweight champion and that narrative's out there and he defends the belt, it diminishes his bargaining power as well. You know, and I like Francis. I really, really do. He needs to fix something. He needs to get a fight. Maybe needs to get a manager. He's managing himself from what I understand.
Yeah, I saw at this point, he's now getting call outs from ONE FC fighters. And it's like, are we really about to just lose Francis Ngannou to Japan for 3 years before he comes back? Like, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane.
Why is that insane?
I mean, you're not going to Pride, man. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't the Japan of old. Francis Ngannou, you're the best heavyweight on the planet. Maybe. What are you doing?
I'd like to see him out in there, out in ONE FC. Why not? What have you got against that, Harrington?
Michael Bisping, you know exactly what I have against that. Like, you're supposed to be fighting in premier organizations like in it. Come on, man. I'm not belittling anything that they're doing out there, but
Amazon Prime, ONE FC has the Amazon Prime money these days. Jeff Bezos in the MMA game.
Sure. Okay. All right. Let's have Ngannou go over there and just take pictures with people on the street, I guess, and make that your career, and God bless. But
maybe he's the guy delivering the $500 to the kids. You know what I mean?
Get out the house.
They're like, okay, I don't need the money. I'll go. Don't worry about it. Oh dear. You can see we're struggling this week, and I'm struggling as well. If you got questions, guys, send them into bympod@gmail.com. We like the funnier, the better.
If you're enjoying this show on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps us out on all those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video comes out. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find anywhere else, ad-free and completely uncensored, head to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
All right, boys. We got a first question here from Doug Norton, who usually sends in those charity questions, but not today.
Hi, guys. You might remember just before Christmas, I sent in a question to BYM all about which one you'd rather do if you had to, drinking a pint of dog vomit or riding a bull naked. I've decided to go a bit more highbrow with this question. I know it's BYM and it's not the Antiques Roadshow, but Mike, you mentioned you like collecting antiques. Just like to know what kind of stuff you like to collect. And to you and to Anthony, are there any bits of fight memorabilia from your own fight careers that's got particular sentimental value that you've held on to? I'd love to know what your kind of treasured objects are. And secondly, who is this guy? No idea who he is. I've tried to find out. He hangs out behind the scenes at weigh-ins. Somebody wants. No idea who he is. Is he an ex-fighter? What's his story? Cheers.
Well, thank you, brother. He always sends in some good questions, so thank you very, very much. You're clearly not watching a lot of MMA. That is matchmaker extraordinaire Mick Maynard, who, by the way, also happens to be one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. I'm telling you right now, he's just a class act. He's a really good guy. He's got a solid sense of humor, likes a drink. You know what I mean? He's a black belt in BJJ, knows the sport inside and out. used to run his own promotion, lives and breathes the sport, and he was that good. He ended up working for the UFC as a matchmaker. But more importantly, just honestly, just a really, really solid guy. He, remember years ago, I got hammered at the Fighters Only Awards, and I had that argument with Eddie Bravo or whatever. Mick called me up. He was trying to book me for a fight, and he was kind of new to the job, and I didn't know him. He said, I spoke to you at the Fighters Only thing, Michael. I tried to tell you about the fight, and I said, oh, did you? I said, I don't remember. He said, yeah, let me tell you how the story went. He said, I came up to you and said, hi, I'm Mick Maynard. I make your fights. And then I apparently responded with, you don't make my fights. I make my fucking fights. Fuck off. I'm like, oh, God, I'm so sorry, Mick. I'm sorry. He said, no, it was hilarious. We were having a laugh. So, yeah, so that's Mick Maynard, my friend. Well, we are going to go Antiques Roadshow. No, fight memorabilia. Obviously, the belts. I'm sure. I wish Anthony was on here as well, so he could talk. But do you know what I miss? On regional MMA, or if it's boxing, or just whatever MMA show it is. In England, I had 10 fights before I signed with the UFC. You always got a trophy. You got a trophy, and some of those trophies were bloody cool. Like Cage Warriors had like these like statuettes of like Vikings and stuff, and I haven't got a single one of them. I don't know where they are. I would like them back.
There is something so cool about the visual of someone having a belt and then a trophy in the other hand, or like two holding a trophy with like a couple girls.
Like in the Pride days, the massive trophies. Yeah. I remember the first trophy. I was 10 or 11. It was the Jiu-Jitsu British Championships. It was the first tournament that I ever entered, and I won it. Right, and I got this huge trophy, and you can't see both my hands, from my head to my waist, chrome, beautiful, and it was like like the marbly bits and a bit in the middle, and then it had like a big like cup part, and then on top of it there was like a chrome fighter doing an axe kick, right, and it was my pride and joy. It was my favorite possession. I used to polish it all the time and stuff. And then eventually it fell apart. Do you know what I mean? Like the screws that was holding it all together all came loose. I was devastated. The Ultimate Fighter 3 plaque. I won't say that's my most cherished. The most cherished would be the belt. But that's just in the garage. I got this nice box they gave it in, but I got to whip that out and put that in the back of my YouTube channel, I reckon. Yeah, bit of a nostalgia. And then antiques. Rebecca likes it. Victorian style, medieval, European, medieval style, Victorian. So, yeah, she loves that kind of style. So there you go. Won't get too deep into that, but Rebecca loves it. That's all she's ever bloody doing. Antiques. What else we got?
All right. We got another question here from Rob Merritt. And he's asking about the future of Paddy Pimblett.
So just a quick question for you guys about Paddy Pimblett. Obviously, with what happened with Ariel Helwani, people kind of reacted badly about it. And also the cringy fight of the night thing, where obviously he didn't get fight of the night, and nor should he have for that previous fight. I feel like everyone in the UK seems to be going more against him now. Do you think that's going to affect him in his next fight when he obviously does his ring walk? Maybe won't get as much motivation from the fans as he expects?
Interesting. Well, thanks for the question. So I'm not in the UK. He's talking about a fan perspective there. Maybe he's on certain message boards or forums and things like that, or Reddit. Is that old school? Am I old there by saying forums? Do people just go on Reddit?
There's forums outside of Reddit, but Reddit's the big one now.
It's mostly MMA Twitter.
Yeah.
MMA Twitter, sure.
I used to love the forums back in the day.
Yeah, a little share dog.
No, fuck Sherdog. I hate them. But cagewarriors.com, that was the one back in the day. Then there was sfuk.net. That was like a super, super, super early one. And then the underground, of course, So I don't know. Paddy's still really popular. Yeah, we've talked about this, He thought he won the fight. He didn't win the fight or whatever. He could have been more humble. It all went to his head a bit, whatever. But he had surgery. He'll be back. All he needs is one big win and all is forgotten about. It's as simple as that. The man's a megastar. People love him. People for he took this sport by storm. And he said he would do that. And I think it's something about that captivates people. It's like when McGregor did that. When McGregor came and right from the start, he was talking such a good game and said, I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over. And all those good lines that he had back in the day. And then he backed it all up. He backed it all up and backed him up with sensational performances. I think when somebody does that, it just makes it even better, even more special. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Paddy has not done anything compared to what McGregor has done yet. But he did say, I'm going to be the star. I'm going to be the cash cow. And he's certainly trending towards, he's one of the biggest stars in the promotion now, I would say.
Well, that's like, it's very cool. Like what works so much about the UFC and especially with like building your persona is like, if you win, right, it's a very thin line between cringe and captivating. Like it really is. If you keep winning, I don't care what you're doing, right? No matter how cringe, people are still talking about you. If the wins back it up, remember how much we all hated Colby Covington? Now everybody's pretty much on board that Colby kind of rocks a little bit. Like it eventually it'll
hold on. What does that mean? Kind of rocks a little bit. What do you mean?
I mean, people are like, all right, Colby, like, yeah, he stinks, whatever. But like that's like Kurt Angle, people used to scream like, F you at Kurt Angle. Every time he came out, it would be F you John Cena. Like Colby's hit that point where we've hated him as fans for so long that we now are kind of like, all right, he's all right.
Oh, right. So you're confusing me here. I don't know if you're saying a good thing about Colby or a bad thing, because I think Colby's great. I think he's very, very captivating. He fights his bloody ass off and he sells pay-per-views.
But did you always feel that way?
No, I thought he was a cock.
That's my point. Colby just works on you over time.
Yeah,
I feel like Paddy's doing the same thing.
He was a total cock. I thought he was the biggest cock muncher on planet Earth. I really did. But I was wrong. Because people often see. I've been around a lot of people, and I won't say names, where certain people will act a certain way, right? And people go, that's just his act. That's just his character. I'm like, I'm around the UFC, buddy. That ain't his character. That's who he is. And so everyone would say that's Colby's character. And I used to think, no, it's not. The guy's just a dildo. Do you know what I mean? But it does appear to be his character, because every run-in or interaction I've had, other than when we went at each other on Fox Sports and we were both combative, other than that, he's been, and I've seen him as well. I saw him interacting with some other people, and no one famous, no one asking for pictures, just like at the airport. He didn't know I was watching him, but he was like being super polite to everyone, and that got my respect. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, listen, Paddy's recovering from ankle surgery, should be back sometime soon. He should have been making a big deal to get on that card, the London card, I reckon. That would have been perfect for him to come back to London, get a big win there, but he's not. He's injured. Fair enough. All eyes will be watching now. I know Jared Gordon, he's asking for the rematch with Jared. Do you think he really wants that rematch with Jared Gordon? Or do you think he was just off his cake from the medication?
I think if Jared Gordon beats Bobby Green, then yeah. If Bobby Green wins, then, that goes the way of Jeremy Stevens versus Conor McGregor.
Well, yeah, I guess, because then if Jared was to get beat off Bobby, that diminishes Jared a little bit. And then if Jared was to fight Paddy and Jared beats Paddy, then it makes it an even worse loss. So I think in terms of, matchmaking, probably not the smartest move. I am interested, though, to see who he will get matched with. We'll do one more question, and then, honestly, as soon as I press stop on this, I will be asleep. I am beyond tired. Thanks for sticking with anyone still watching this. We appreciate you endlessly. I don't know who's watching this. I can't even think. I wouldn't watch this.
At the very minimum, I'll be watching this.
Yeah. Brian's editing it later, going, for crying out loud. Talking of Brian, give us a question, buddy.
All right.
It's just weird. Hold on. Let me tell you. No, Brian, stay on. It's just weird because it's the setting where I'm in. I've got a light bulb, right? I've got a light. I'm going to show you.
Yeah, show us the room. Give us the Brendan Loughnane tour.
Look. Oh, where's the look at that.
That's what you've got.
That's what I'm using to light. I found the lamp, right? I took the shade off it. So like it all just feels rinky dink and bare. Like normally I'm at home, I've got all the accessories, accoutrement in the background. You know, I've got the jazzy microphone, I've got my soundproofing tiles. Do you know what I mean? We've got some guests calling in. I'm on the other side of the world. I've got a light, but that's blinding me. That's blinding, and I've only got one eye. So I'm like, you know, it's a little bit off the rails tonight, boys and girls, but we'll be back in style on Thursday. Boom. Brian, don't go. Give us a question.
I thought you just signed us off twice.
No, sorry, right. Well, I don't know what day it is, Brian.
All right. I got one more question here. This is from Mr. Austin Legg, and he's asking about our perspective.
Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
What's up, boys? My name's Austin, coming at you from Idaho. And my question is, after seeing that video of Bisping catching fish with his boy the other day, cooking it up for dinner, he said how good it felt to be able to provide food for the family. So my question is, Mike, would you ever be willing to do hunting and not just fishing? Would you ever be willing to go big game hunting and provide meat for your family that way? In this house, we eat everything we kill, and so it works out pretty well. So I'm curious if that's something you'd ever be willing to give a try. And if so, are there any species that are kind of up towards the top of your bucket list? Like, would you love to go on a moose hunt or something like that? So let me know. I'm curious. I know Anthony Smith does a bit of hunting himself. I've even been trying to talk him into coming out to Idaho for a bear hunt. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But all right, boys, appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right. So Austin, thank you for the question. That was a good one. I like these kind of things. And feel free to chime in with your points, Brian, as well. But so yes is the answer to the question because Lucas wants to. Lucas is an animal lover. He's obsessed with animals, you know, but he has a passion for fishing. I wouldn't say a passion, but he's interested in fishing. But he's growing up now and he wants to do more boy-like outdoor pursuits. You know, he does want to hunt. He wants to hunt invasive species, only invasive species only. You know what I mean? Because they shouldn't be there, Dad. And he justifies it and all the rest of it. Me personally, and I would do that because I'm his father. And if he wants to do that, and that's the kind of pursuits that he likes, the interest that he has, you know, he'll end up doing that regardless. Do you know what I mean? So I might as well take him out and encourage him to do that because I think it's not a bad thing to be doing. You know what I mean? He's saying, I want to hunt some invasive species or whatever. It's a tradition to men as old as time. You know what I mean? And I have no issue with it whatsoever. You know, I'd rather he was doing something like that than hanging out on the streets, you know, bloody getting into trouble, getting up to no good. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, of course, I would. Now, the part of the question that says to me, go on, Brian.
If somebody wants to sponsor the BYM helicopter pig shoot, we will go on that.
Here's the one for me, right? I don't think, I mean, listen, of course I could. If I had to, I worked at a slaughterhouse. I killed bloody 500 cows a day. Do you know what I mean? But that was my job. And I was 16 and I needed the money. And I didn't do it for very long, but still, you know what I mean? I could do whatever I want if you really have to do it. Do you know what I mean? But would I, out of choice, choose? And like you might all go, you're pussy, Hollywood, Bisping, liberal, whatever. It's not about being liberal or whatever. It's just seeing a nice, beautiful mammal, you know, a deer or whatever, in its own, just minding its own business. Maybe it's foraging. It's bringing back some berries for his little baby. Do you know what I mean? Whatever the fuck it's doing, I'm just going to blow its brains out. That's not how I get my kicks. If my son wanted to do it, I would help him do that. But I honestly, just for fun, I don't know if I could. All right, now granted, there's the meat side of things, because that is a big part of the discussion, and I did like that. But again, I can go buy it down the supermarket.
Yeah, but that's factory farmed. There's preservatives in it.
Yep.
Even the organic stuff, you're still getting it from someone else, not from nature.
Do you know what? Yeah, I would, because you're right. Because I actually had this conversation with Rebecca the other day. We were talking about this, saying it would be so good if, like, let's just say, you know, you lived in a part of the world where you're out on a ranch, and you know there was a lot of that around, and you just did that. If you had the time to do that, you know, if we lived in bloody hundreds of years ago. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, of course, it would be fantastic to do it like that. It'd be so much better. It'd probably taste better. It'd rot pretty quick because you got no fridges back then. You'd have to cure the meats with salt.
Ooh, that sounds great. Jerky?
No, it's not jerky.
Saying you're going to make some jerky out of what you're killing.
Anthony makes jerky. But so, yeah, I guess. But my point that I guess I'm making, I'm not making it very well. I don't think I'd do it for fun. Like if I had to sustain my family, without question. And if I could do it and it was convenient, then yeah, I'd do it. But I would never take pleasure from doing it.
What about Lucas's argument of like doing it to save the environment?
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but here's what me and his mother said, because they're invasive species.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we said, well, they don't know they're invasive species. They didn't ask to be put there.
They're just trying to live.
They're just trying to live. Hey, but listen, there's no. I eat meat every day. Mm-hmm. I'm a meat eater. I ain't no vegan pussy. Do you know what I mean? You know, I'm just saying, me personally, if I don't have to kill it myself, I'd rather not.
Okay.
And okay.
I want to kill a bear, but that's for another show, I guess.
Would you kill a bear?
Yeah, 100%. Be sick.
Would you really?
Yeah, I'd make a bearskin rug. It'd be awesome.
If you, no, but all jokes aside, no joking. If you had the opportunity to go on a hunt, and you could look down the barrel of a gun, you could see a bear minding its own business, you blow his brains out.
Yeah, 1,000%.
See, I wouldn't.
I'm not stupid enough to put myself in a place where I would get attacked by a bear. They're better hunters than you. They do that.
Hey, Brian, just look. Hold on, I'll send it to you, Brian. It's on my Instagram story. This is today. Hold on, I'll send it to you now, Brian.
It's on your story?
Yeah. I'm emailing it right now. So there's some people, they're up a what's it called? I don't know.
Hunting stand.
A telephone wire or something like that. And they're up there. They're up high up in this tree. And these two bears, they're just curious to know what they're doing up there. They run up there lightning fast. They're incredible animals. So you would kill one. Brian, would you kill a bear? I wouldn't kill a bear. No way. They're too gorgeous.
No, I wouldn't shoot a dog either.
Yeah.
Different.
Steroids. You're out of your mind.
All right. This is interesting. Where is the cutoff point between a dog and a bear?
Oh, they're not the same thing, but they're similar enough that
what has more intelligence, a bear or a dog? Let's look that up.
I've seen bears open up car doors, and I'm pretty sure a bear is going to be smarter than your average dog.
Yeah, me too. Zookeepers and animal trainers consider bears to be smarter than dogs.
Yeah, I mean they do shit.
Like, yeah, but who makes a better rug?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you don't need a rug. I have a blanket over there on my bed. I'm not even from Tenerife. I don't know where that came from. I don't need to go and find myself a bear to kill it to stay warm tonight.
I don't know. Do you ever sleep on a bearskin rug? It's nice.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah.
I'd rather see it on the back of a bear, though, walking through the woods.
I got enough bears, and they killed the deers, which
I talked about this on Rogan's podcast. Same thing, like these trophy hunters in Africa. It's the same thing. That's what you're talking about.
No, they're going to like preserves, being like, give me one of your old ones, and I'll pay to keep the preserve around.
Yeah, but what they'll say as well, they'll justify it by apparently because the money goes towards the conservation that keeps these parks, afloat, shall we say. That's not my point. The point is that
different than killing an invasive species.
Give it some sound, Brian. Give it some sound.
Yeah,
give it some sound. Check this out here. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think they're hunting. No,
they're not. No, just keep it blowing. Look.
Oh, wow.
Hold on. It just goes up and looks at them. My God. Anyway, we've waffled on for a while. Everyone's going to say, Bisping's a liberal pussy. Won't even kill a bear. I will kill anything if I have to. But guess what? I'm starving. I'm going to go down to that restaurant right now. I'm going to order some food. It will be an animal that will have been murdered, killed violently, probably. And I won't care because I can do it that way rather than hunting. There you go. Does that make me lazy?
No, it makes you successful in other areas of life.
All right, well, listen, that's it. We're talking about bloody bears now, even though you look like a bear, Harrington. Would you be happy if someone blew your brains out to take your hoodie? No. Anyway, listen, we're talking about nonsense. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll have a nice guest. We're going to have Anthony Smith and a packed show. We'll see you then, guys. Thank you.